Hello. Well, this is a day I've kind of been dreading, but it's finally here. Snow White. Rachel Ziegler's Snow White, the live action Snow White reboot, remake, whatever, from Disney, which is kind of a remake of the original. You can see right there the dwarf's cottage with Snow White and the old lady and all the animals. So yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is the first full-length animated feature in the world, and that's basically what started the multimedia empire known as Disney, and it was only a matter of time before they decided to revisit it with the live-action remake, because they basically are making live-action remakes to pretty much all their animated classics. So, I mean, what's more classic than Snow White, the first one? Now, look, I am aware, though not to the fullest extent, probably, that this movie has a lot, and I mean a lot, of controversy behind it. First and foremost, as a result of their lead actress, Rachel Ziegler, which, I'm gonna be honest, the only thing I've seen her so far was Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I think that was the name of the movie. And I liked her in that movie. In fact, I liked the movie. So I've got nothing against Rachel Ziegler as an actress. Some of the stuff she's been saying, I haven't exactly been paying attention to all of it because I don't care. I try to stay away from controversies like that. But I mean, voices are louder on the internet whether you like it or not. So you become exposed to these things and you're aware of it. I don't care. Again, I'm only here to see the movie. Partly, I'm going to see this lovely lady, Gal Gadot, the Wonder Woman, who I have not heard great things about in the context of this movie, but that's beside the point. But, yeah. I'm going to hopefully let controversy stay aside. Part of the reason why I avoided any news about this stuff, like the plague. Like, my YouTube feed has been flooded with videos condemning Rachel Ziegler and condemning this movie in any way, shape, or form. I just looked away. I haven't bothered with any of them because I want to watch this movie with as clean of a slate as possible. Obviously, I can't now, but I'm just going in here to see a good movie, and that's all I really hope to see. So this is my optimism prior to seeing the movie. I'll talk to you when I come out of it and see what I think about it. Goodbye for now and see you then. Right. Snow White. Disney's Snow White 2025. What do I think of it? It's alright. It's fine. Honestly, it's not great, but I mean, it's not terrible. And to be completely honest, I never thought this movie was going to be awful or even just bad. It was more so just, people assumed it was bad. People wanted it to be bad because of all the behind-the-scenes stuff that kind of don't have much to do with the actual inner workings of the movie. Just more so to do with the main actress. But it was alright, really. I mean, obviously it takes the original 1937 movie, which obviously is based on the 15th century grim fairy tale Snow White, and it expands on that. It expands mostly on the movie, not so much the original story, but I mean that's kind of beside the point. I think that some of the things that they added, some of the things that they changed were okay, some were not so much, but I mean none of them really too much distracted me from enjoying the movie. They added a couple of new songs to the movie, which some worked. Actually, some worked really good. Some were a little meh, but overall, as an adaptation of an iconic classic, it does an okay job. I mean, I think if we're just talking about the Disney live action remakes, I think my favorite is still Aladdin. But I mean, obviously, The Lion King, my favorite movie, the best movie of all time. But the remake to it is still pretty much up there. Obviously, I love the Cinderella one, the Jungle Book one, but this one sort of kind of in the middle of that. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not great. It's serviceable. It's passable, and like I said, if you're going in to watch this movie, you got to take all whatever you may have heard or not heard about Rachel Zegler, what she may or may not have said online. To be honest, I'm not even sure what all of the things that she said, or things she allegedly said, or things that people said she said but didn't, are just, take all that and shove it to the side. You gotta tune it out and just watch the movie for what it is. A movie. It's a Disney musical that's adapting the original story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from the Grimm fairy tales, but taking the majority of its inspiration from the 1936 movie, which of course is Walt Disney's first animated feature. Now, I mean, getting into some of the negatives in this movie, the dwarves. Now, the dwarves kind of look uncanny. Some of them I would even say ugly, but I mean, if you got a problem with the dwarves looking ugly, maybe you should look up what dwarves actually look like in depictions where dwarves are described in like Norse mythology and stuff. They not handsome, to say the least. So I think the attempt, I think the attempt by the filmmakers was to make the dwarves in this movie look less ugly than perhaps they should have been. Less ugly than obviously how dwarves are usually depicted in ancient literature. But even then, they still, I think the word I used, uncanny, actually really fits here, because clearly they're CGI. They're not tiny people, or even regular-sized people that were made to look smaller through the use of CGI. They were practically completely CGI, and I get that they weren't intended to look completely human. But even then, there's something wrong with the way the dwarves look. Like, the CGI isn't perfect. It's not polished enough. They could have delayed the movie and worked on the CGI of the dwarves a little bit more. But I mean, that's when we get into some of the more problems of the behind-the-scenes stuff. At first, they decided to have real tiny people play the dwarves, and then Peter Dinklage got involved and said that's a stereotype, so they changed the dwarves to bandits. But then people got outraged at that, so they changed it back to dwarves. It's a whole mess of a thing. This movie has a lot of mess behind the scenes, which some of that translates to the on-screen stuff, what you actually see as part of the movie, but not. But I think the final product is serviceable, but it would have been a lot better if they could actually had more time to focus on making the dwarves look better. Like, they're CGI, but they're so obviously CGI that it's kind of distracting. And there are a lot of close-up shots on the dwarves' faces that really distract from it. Again, if they had some more time to make the CGI look better, slightly more photorealistic, maybe even, then maybe I would favor the dwarves a little bit more in this movie. But as far as that, I mean, they give the dwarves a little bit more to do in the screen time that they have, but they also added a bunch of other characters outside of just the dwarves. Because if you remember, the original movie is just Snow White, the Queen, the Huntsman, the Prince, and the dwarves. They added a bunch of more characters, as you would expect from a movie like this, because they always do that with all the live action remakes. They added a lot of stuff to the Little Mermaid. They added a lot of stuff to the Cinderella movie. They changed a lot. They added a lot of characters, which and obviously the Beauty and the Beast. Now, I think what they added to the Beauty and the Beast remake worked wonders in that movie's favor. Not so much in this movie, because there's a lot of extra characters, but some of them feel kind of pointless. So there really is no reason to have them in the movie. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them do serve the story. Some of them just feel like background stuff. And even the replacement Prince Charming, as it were, even he kind of feels a bit of a background character at times, but he does actually have a role to play in the story. Now then, this lady right here, Gal Gadot. I'm just gonna say this. She clearly understood the assignment, and she went for it. I mean, she's very different from the cold, stoic, evil queen, which, by the way, I can't believe I forgot to show this. I'm actually wearing the Evil Queen t-shirt that I got from Loot Crate a couple of years ago. So there's that. But, yeah, so that Evil Queen, very different from this Evil Queen. And I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, goes without saying, but do not expect the Evil Queen you know from the original story with Gal Gadot's portrayal of the Evil Queen, because, I mean, she's a diva in this movie. She gets her own singing number, which, you know, Gal Gadot's not as good of a singer as Rachel Zegler, obviously, but I mean, she goes there. She really does go. And you know what? It kind of looks like she was having a lot of fun filming this movie. And it shows. It shows in that musical number. I'm not saying that what she did in the movie was any good. I'm just saying I liked it for the cheesiness of it. And there's a lot of cheese in this movie. And not just with the Evil Queen, but, you know, some kind of moments where, like, okay, fine, I get it. But, yeah, the Evil Queen, I'd say, is kind of a standout in this movie, but not necessarily in the way you would want the Evil Queen in the Snow White story to be a standout. But yeah, I liked it. Some other people probably won't. But I will say that once you actually... And I'm not giving away a spoiler here because, you know, it's a remake of a movie that's about 80-something years old. The original movie is older than my grandfather, okay? But when Gal Gadot transforms into the old lady, it almost feels like a completely different character. I mean, people have been criticizing Gal Gadot's acting for years. I think she does show a little bit of range in this movie, for however brief moment she does get. But, you know, a very dynamic Gal Gadot with a very diva-esque personality. Some really good singing from Rachel Zegler. Horrible-looking CGI dwarves, which dwarves as characters work, the CGI don't. And some other random side characters to add a little bit of flavor, but you know, there's a lot of empty calories with the side characters in this movie. Overall, I'd say I'd give this movie a thumbs up. It's okay, it's good, it's not great. And you know what? Considering everything else that's been happening with this movie behind the scenes, a good, not great, is the best I could have hoped for with this movie. And just, just because I know some people are gonna point it out, I'm just gonna get this off my chest right here at the end. The name of the movie is Snow White. Snow White. If ever there was a time to cast a white actress in a role, this would be that. So how are they getting around the idea that the actress isn't a white actress? They do something in the beginning of the movie that kind of excuses that. I'm not saying it's good. It was definitely a sure moment, and that was my reaction. So there we go. I've addressed the elephant in the room finally at the end of this review. Anywho, I've had some fun today, and now there's gonna be a couple more weeks until the next big movie. So I'll leave you with that. Goodbye for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. Hi there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.